Hey everybody, welcome to Max 9 tutorial number 38, Jit GL Basic Intro. And, as our subline says, what the heck is it? What indeed is Jit GL? Well, jitter, things that deal with video. GL stands for Graphics Library. And until it's replaced by something more exciting, we're going to go with it. So let's just start off today with the really basics of Jit GL. And that, my friends, is the Jit, type J, world. Whoops, it went right to it. We've got our little window there, but let's get back in here. Sometimes it just does that. I meant to hit the space there. And like many things like buffer and things like that, sometimes these things are associated by name. So let's all come up with our own names here. What is your name? I'll wait while you go ahead and type a new name that is just your name. Special for you. Okay, mine's Fluffy. Okay, so my Jit World Fluffy. I'm going to make some things that just make life easier. We're going to say at, that's the way to get an attribute, and we're going to say floating, and you'll see it pops up here at floating integer. That means it'll float in front of everything. Nice. I mean, it's handy, that way it doesn't get stuck in the back. Okay, and then another at, and this is the more important one. We want to get the auto handle, and I don't even have to type anything. There it is. At auto handle. And that means that you can then hit a space, then hit 1. And what that means is that when your Jit World is working, I'm just going to keep putting it over here until it tries to stop me again. You'll be able to grab things and turn them. So the Jit GL world is three-dimensional. It's like space. And as you can imagine, with all those graphics processors, remember they're parallel. So you could have 100, 200, 1,000 graphics processors working side by side. They're not as smart, shall we say, as your CPU, but there's like 100 of them. So they can really crunch numbers. And we have a 4K video coming out in 3D, that is a lot of numbers. So, let's go ahead and, let's type the letter. First, we'll hit Shift-T, because I always love doing that. And that gives us a toggle. That'll tell our world to start rendering when it's time to do that. And then I'm just going to type an A to get an attribute. Isn't that handy? Just type an A. Why not? And we'll connect that up, and yes. Oh, we can right, lock your patcher and go in here and what do we want? Position. I'm sorry, I was forgetting what it was I wanted to do. So this gives you your position in three-dimensional space. Up and down, side to side. Up and down, I think, side to side, and toward us and away from us. If you go positive, it comes toward you. If you go negative, it goes away from you. Right now, we don't have anything in the Jit world, but when that time comes, oh, it's going to be handy. Unlock your patcher. And let's go about trying to get simple things into our Jit world, named whatever it is named, in my case, Fluffy. Okay, so what we're going to do is type a J and a GL and wait, we don't need to type GL, we just type matrix. There we go. Okay, we don't even have to name this matrix because it's just going to do its work from here. All right, and what we're going to do is send it a message. Two messages, really. One is import movie. Import movie, see the Jit matrix method. and then we type space, and then the movie that we're going to import is Chili's, CHILIS.jpg. And then we're going to type the second message, which is bang. Okay. And so this comma makes this into two messages, the first message, the second message. It just saves us a step of having to go like, do this one, then do this one. We can put it all in one message, just use a comma. Nice, right? So we'll do that, and then to see if it actually works, we'll get a JIT P window here. Type J, type a P, there's the JIT P window. Connect them together. We don't even have to make it that big. We'll be able to see it. Lock your patcher. Did it do it? It did it. Look, little tiny peppers. So cute. Okay, so we know this matrix is now loaded up with these peppers. And what we're going to do is take this image and send it out as a texture into the JIT world, which my JIT world is called Fluffy. Okay, and this is how we're going to do it. Unlocking our patcher, we come down here, we type J for JIT, we type G for GL, graphics library, and then we type, whoops, I didn't mean to get texture. Oh, actually, texture is exactly what I wanted. Jit GL texture. And then we want to type in here @name. We have to give this texture a name. So @name. What would be a good name for a bunch of peppers? Pepper. I got it first. You have to pick something else. Sorry, haha. Okay. Jit GL texture. And connect this to that. And now our belief is that when we hit this again, it'll load this matrix again. The bang will send this out of here, and it will be put out into the Fluffy world as a texture named pepper. So we just need something in the Fluffy world that now wants a texture named pepper. Does this start to feel abstract? It shouldn't. I mean, it should. It shouldn't. Okay, here we go. So what we have to more or less, a texture is something that's sort of like paint or fabric or something. You have to stretch it over something. So what we're going to do is type J for jitter, GL, and then grid shape. Whoops. GL dot grid shape. There it is. So now we've got a grid shape, and we want to say, don't forget this. What world is that grid shape going to go into? In my case, Fluffy. In your case, who knows? And then we are going to want that grid to have a shape. And so we're going to say @shape space plane, because we want it to be planar. We don't just want it to be plain, but planar, a simple place to start. Okay, and then it's also nice to have the smooth shading turned on. I just know this from experience. And here you get smooth shading. I click on it so I can make sure it's spelled right. If it's a 0, it's turned off. If it's a 1, it's turned on. And then finally, and this is in an odd way the important part, we say @texture. Go ahead, guess. Pepper. Pepper. For crying out loud. There we go. All right. So now, as soon as we created this, oh, I must have accidentally turned my JIT world rendering on. Darn it. Well, if you haven't done it yet, now that we've created this, turn your JIT world rendering on. And I've even backed up a little bit. See, proof that I made a mistake and I was monkeying around. So remember what I said, if you go negative, Not that that's a good thing to do all the time, but in this case, it is. If you go negative, it zooms out, and if you go positive, it zooms in. So let's zoom out a little bit so we can see it. And then we see that the grid shape is out there, and if we click sort of in the middle-ish part of it, we can, come on, there we go. Whoop, that's not what I expected. I guess that's the new auto handle. No, I just want to be able to do this. There we go. Kind of move it that way. Can I move it all ways? Yes, I can. There we go. So you see, we can move our grid around. But is that the most exciting thing? No, certainly not. We are now going to come up here and say, import chilies.jpg, bang. And the chilies are there, right there on the plane. And we can move them around as we wish. In fact, this is new for me in Max 9. I never saw this before. We can twirl them. Oh my, so much fun you can have in just one day. Twirling. There we go. Get that straight. Okay. Now then, one other thing that you may not yet know, I'm unlocking my patcher and typing the letter A, is that if we have an attribute, if you type an A, you get an attribute. And then we lock our patcher again. We can go in here and there's so many things, right? Millions of things to do. But what we want is shape. And now we can select what shape it's going to be. How about a sphere? Nice. Look at that. Peppers on a sphere. Is everybody like digging that as much as I am? And you can twirl them around, I think. There you go. Twirl your peppers. Spin those peppers around. And perhaps my favorite shape, the torus, otherwise known as donut, we have our peppers on a donut. So, man, that, my friends, is the basic introduction into Jit GL. We've just taken a texture, sent it out, applied it to a grid shape. The grid shape is in the Jit World Fluffy. The Jit World is named Fluffy. And we can zoom in and zoom out. And zoom right through a donut. There we go. This should be side to side. Whoop, up and down. Oh, I had them backwards. Up and down. And side to side. Nice. Well, there we go. Have fun with your pepper donut in Jit World. And I will see you in the next tutorial as we make this more and more complicated. Thanks for watching, and patch well.